Hey guys, what's up?
How's it going, guys?
Today's video is going to be about the 10 things we wish we knew before we got married.
And we are by no means experts on marriage. We still are figuring this whole thing out. And these are just the top 10 things that we are either currently working on or we've had issues with or have benefited us in the past.
Yes, okay? So, do as we say, not as we do, okay? This is for y'all. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. So, we're going to get into number one.
Which is our biggest problem.
Today, y'all.
Fighting fair. When you get with your partner, and we've been together for as long as we have,
Yep.
you get to know your partner intimately, which leads to you being able to hurt them because you know their insecurities, you know their weaknesses, the hardest times they've been through. So when things get heated, you know what to go for right off rip to get to them, get under their skin, to hurt them. And we are both very guilty of this when we get into our big fights.
Very guilty. I feel like fighting is very healthy. Disagreements are healthy. Arguments are going to come up. But as long as you do it in a constructive way.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that you're not hitting below the belt and saying things that you really don't mean. That's in like the heat of the moment, because you can't take back words. So just make sure when you guys are fighting, if you need time to cool off.
I think that's the biggest thing we try to work on, is when we feel ourselves tipping over the top.
Right.
We're like, hey, we need to stop, take a break. I'm gonna go downstairs. Like, my man cave's in the basement, so I'll go downstairs. She'll go up to the bedroom. She'll watch her shows. We'll come back to it later. If not, it's like blood sport in here.
It's bad.
We
It's
go
so
for
bad.
the jugular. We cut an Achilles tendons. It's bad. Like, we're gonna
bloodbath.
watch each other fall and squirm because we call it going for the jugular every time we get to that point. We're working on it. We're getting better.
Right. And fighting fair can not only save your marriage, but it can help bring you guys closer.
Every time.
Yeah, because
Don't go chasing them.
right.
Don't go chasing them into the room.
I chase them, y'all. I chase them, but I'm working on it because you still be having things on my mind that I need to get off my chest. I'm that type of person that if something is bothering me, I don't like waiting. I like to get it off my chest. I like to talk about it here and now, even though it may not be the right time. So if you need that time to cool off, make sure you guys are cooling off. And if you're not fighting fair, it can be kind of destructive to the marriage. It can lead down a slippery slope to the D word, which is divorce. And you don't want to end up getting a divorce, because every time you fight nasty, it chips away at your marriage.
And those chips can't be put back together. You think of it as a bridge. You knock your bridge out, your support, over time. Eventually that bridge is going to be so damaged you can't, there's nothing to repair.
Yeah.
So take that time, just cool off,
Step away,
get right, come back to it later.
Right, and talk about it when you guys are in a better headspace. Number 2.
This was my biggest thing I needed to work on, I feel like, aside from fighting fair.
Expectations versus reality.
I come from a long line of husbands working, the spouse is taking care of the home.
Those gender roles.
Yes.
And me growing up, my mom, she did have a career and she did work, but she stayed at home most of the time. We were younger, to be at home with us, to help us while my dad worked. So she was always cooking and cleaning and doing things like that, where my dad, he went to work, he was a provider, he came home and he didn't do anything. Well, in this household, we both domesticated. This is a partnership. So we both do work around the house, but I feel like when you go into a marriage, you have expectations, and if you do have expectations, you need to speak of it, because if you don't talk about it and your partner don't know, that you're expecting them to cook dinner every night, or do the laundry or do the dishes, or just having whatever you're expecting, it can cause like a lot of heated arguments.
Now, my expectations when we got together were, if like I was working 7 days a week and she had a couple days off, those days would be used to catch up on the house. But I will say, we have a child now, so days off don't
typically mean
count
days
as
off.
days off.
Right. We're around here working. I'm cleaning up after Liam. He's running around the house, making a mess as I clean up. So.
And she does chase him around all day and just waddling around, trying to keep up with almost a 2-year-old. But I needed to adjust my expectations. I didn't understand her perspective, what she was going through daily, and now that she's pregnant, it's even more difficult. So I would come home and I'd be like, what the heck happened? And she's just like, you have no idea, don't be pissy with me. I've been chasing this kid around all day trying to keep up with him.
Right.
And I get it now because I've stayed home a couple times.
And he don't get nothing done, y'all.
She went,
house looking crazy.
She went and got her hair done. She's like, it'll only take 2 hours. She came home, it was dark out. It did not take 2 hours. But I had that kid from sun up to sundown and nothing got done.
I feel like some people are good at like multitasking and doing both, but our child is very clingy still, so he doesn't allow us to do that. So if he does give us time, it's probably 30 minutes to an hour. And I mean, I can't really get as much done as I would like, but I do get a little done. But it's either neglect him and not play with him and try to clean up all day, or just play with our baby. And I prefer to play with our child and be with him.
That was the wake up call for me.
Right.
I get it now. I do understand.
So that is definitely something you're gonna have to adjust when you get into marriage, is adjusting that expectation versus reality. So when you go into a marriage, you need to make sure your expectations
are known.
Right. Because if you have a different perspective of your marriage than your spouse, then it can cause the guys to clash. Yeah. They might think marriage is supposed to be this way, and with the gender roles, and I want you to do this, I want you to do that, where your spouse could be thinking like, well, I want this to be 50-50. I want, this to be a partnership and us to work together on everything, even the house chores and financially and things like that. So just make sure, you're having those conversations. Number 3, maintaining your own identity while, being married or being with your spouse. This one personally, I struggled on at first because I was very clingy. I wanted him to be him, but I wanted to spend majority of my time with him, which means it took away from his friends and some of the things that he actually liked to enjoy. But now that we are married and we are 4 years in, I feel like I've grown. And have I grown, babe? Look, I still want him to come home. I don't want him to do anything. I'm kidding.
I'll be at work and she'll be like, just come home.
That's because
like
I just
first break, so I've only been there for 2 hours.
Right.
So she's grown. She made it to first break now instead of just telling me not to go to work. So I mean, we've made progress.
Right, but you want to maintain your own identity because it's easy to get lost, in your spouse and being married. And it's just important for your mental health. It's important for you to still do the things that you like, you enjoy before, you got with.
You don't want to lose yourself inside somebody else either. Like you two got with each other for who you were, who each of you were. And if you start stripping away things that you like, you're gonna just either resent the other person, or you're gonna get lost. You're not gonna know what to do. You're not gonna know who you are anymore. It's a toxic chain. Like
it really is. And don't throw no kids in the mix, okay?
Yeah.
That's a whole different topic, because when you throw kids in the mix, you really get lost, but you have to just come back and find yourself, and then just you kind of do what's best for you.
I'd say we have a healthy mix. Like I enjoy my activities, she enjoys hers. And we can do them separate of each other. We can do them with each other. I'm not a concert person. She is. She likes going to concerts. So usually she'll go with a girlfriend. Or, yeah, and I like fishing.
I'm
She's
not
not
a
a big
fisher.
fan of fishing or kayaking or anything where you can get dirty.
I'm working on it.
But she has. She, like, if I felt like I wanted her with me, and I'm like, hey, I really want you to go with me.
I tried it.
And she did. She'll.
I like it.
Yeah.
Just once a year.
Well, yeah, that's
Or
it.
once every
Just
6 years.
an hour around a pond, and she's good for the year.
I'm good to go.
But that effort, or that space where I can still go and
It's
enjoy
needed.
my activities on my own time, it's important. It maintains my identity. She gets to do her things. I don't know what they are, but she does love them.
Right. So, you know, if you guys are, if you're struggling with it, you know, just make sure you find that balance. You want to find a healthy balance because it can become toxic if you're too clingy, and you don't want that and cause a lot of issues in your marriage. So it's okay for y'all to do separate things,
Yes.
you know, and I had to learn that.
And if you have to start out, plan them. Like, if you are clingy, like, I feel like when we first, like, hit our big, like, hey, I need my own time, we went and scheduled our own things on the same day so we could get that time apart from each other.
And then feel like we were like ditching the other person.
Yeah, we did that, and eventually it got to the point where, hey, I'm going fishing today. She's like, okay, cool. And then she'd be like, hey, we're going to a concert Saturday. Okay, perfect. I'll enjoy my time at home. You know, if you're that clingy person, try that. It worked for us, and I think we're doing good now.
Yeah, we're doing good.
So for the guys,
Number 4.
number 4, compromise. All the guys know what I'm talking about. All the guys know what I'm talking
This
about.
is very important. You have to compromise in a marriage.
Yes.
There is no way of going around it.
We compromise very well.
It's important to compromise so that you can make sure you and your spouse are getting the things that you need.
Yep.
It can never be, it needs to be 50-50 with the compromising. Do you?
I agree. Like I said, we're not putting up the Christmas tree till after Thanksgiving. You said we are, and we compromised, and now the Christmas tree's up. But it's half decorated.
We can't decorate the bottom
Compromise.
because Liam,
Yeah.
we can't.
The child just pulls them all off. But it's still, I feel like I won a little bit. All right. In all seriousness, though, compromise is a necessary part in any successful marriage. If only one person is benefiting, then the other person is being neglected. They're not growing spiritually, they're not growing mentally, physically, and that can lead to bigger problems later on in your marriage.
When you become as one, you have to work together as a team. And being married really showed us that we really have to, there's going to be things that we have to compromise on and that we have to sacrifice.
Yes.
It's not bad sacrificing, you know, but it's just something that
No.
you're going to have to do so that you guys can have a successful marriage.
Yeah, you want both partners meeting their needs.
Right.
Right. Yeah, you want to grow together.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever that needs, one person gives, the other person receives. Next time the next person receives, the person gives. I mean, you just grow together whatever you guys need.
Babe, look at the camera. Where are you?
I am sorry. I am looking at your feet. You've got a 1/4 inch gap in between the back of your toe. and
Excuse
your-
me.
Compromise.
So make sure you compromise.
Number 5. This one's you.
Travel. I wish we would have traveled more before. What?
We did a lot of traveling before.
We did, but you know, after having the baby, it just puts a stop to things. So before you guys have kids and you are in the newlywed, stage and phase of everything, travel. Get as much time away, from work and things like that to just enjoy each other, nurture the marriage, and
How many
just have
different
fun.
countries have you been to before we had Liam, though?
Not really.
More than this many. Oh, maybe that was me.
Right.
Never mind.
Right. I went out of state, not out of the country. I really started traveling when me and you got together.
Yeah. When we were younger, we traveled a lot with my family, and I'm definitely going to continue that tradition with my wife, which we did when we first got together. I think it was your first time outside the country when we left, yep. And then I can't wait till Liam's a little bit older and
We can take him out the country. And
baby girl's here, and we're definitely going to be hitting Europe, Africa, and I can't wait.
definitely on the list. So make sure you travel. That was a big thing. I wouldn't say that was a big thing for us, but I see the importance of it.
Traveling is huge in our relationship.
It is huge because you get real ornery
Yep.
after 6 months and you ain't been nowhere.
Right.
So make sure
It's just that
traveling.
it's just that reprieve. It's
Yeah.
like you just no responsibility.
Right. Very important. Number 6.
Oh, this one, I had to learn what this meant from you.
Being intentional in your marriage.
I did not know what that meant.
So it's important for you. Being intentional is so important for your marriage because you have to intentionally work on your marriage each and every day.
We do that, but I didn't know what intentional in your marriage meant.
And it involves, taking responsibility for your actions because everything you do affects your spouse.
Yes.
So you want to be intentional by making sure, you're working on your marriage, doing things to fulfill your partner's needs, and just making sure they're okay.
You want to think about your marriage, any action you take. And that action has to be for the benefit of your marriage. Right?
Yeah. So just make sure you're being intentional in your marriage.
Do I have that right?
Yeah. And you guys will be okay. Just, make sure you're always working on it because it's definitely work. Marriage is not for the weak.
Number 7. Finances and budgeting.
So when we first got together, I'm still struggling. We're still working on finances and budgeting over here, because I love to shop. Retail therapy is great for me, and I enjoy it. But
I gotta sit back. Your face is getting blurred.
Want to make sure that you and your spouse are on the same page before getting married with finances.
Definitely establish your financial goals, what you're looking to be. You can set a time limit, what you want in your savings account, what you want in your investment accounts, if you even do investment accounts, if you want to buy property, if you want to just talk to your partner and establish those goals before getting married.
So that once you guys get married, you guys are on the same page. Well, studies show that one of the leading causes of divorces is finances. So it's important that you guys are on the same page and having those talks so that
you want to help each other realize your financial goals.
Right. And if your partner isn't there, you want to help them get there or show them. If there's a certain system or routine that you do, then bring them along so that it can help them too. He definitely helped me, budget more and just.
Later on. Early, we were both very impulsive.
I'm an emotional buyer.
Neither one of us had any goals of investing, nothing. We just hey, let's go here, let's do this, let's buy this will look good in the house. And that's what we did. And eventually...
And I had to hear about it.
Yes.
I'm kidding.
Well, not early on.
I had to hear about it.
But I started investing, I started watching videos, and we established those goals after, I would say, maybe right before we got married.
Yeah.
I established those goals, and then, like I said, we didn't discuss it. I just said, this is what I want. I'm going to start doing this. And then she was like, I need a new fireplace. I need a new couch. And it interfered. We argued, but then we talked it out.
Right.
We're on the same page now, but our biggest issue now is ordering out.
Yeah, we're trying to cut back on that because Grubhub and DoorDash, it'll take you out. It'll take you out the game.
Every time. That's such unnecessary money.
It really is. But, you know, we also want to leave something behind for our kids. So we need to do what we need to do now and make sure
our kids are taken care of.
Right. So make sure you guys are on the same page. Very, very important, because if one person has a bad spending habit and the other one is trying to save, it's just going to cause a whole bunch of confusion. So
let's talk about love language. Number 8.
Go ahead.
I don't know what that means. No, I'm just kidding. Her love language is gifts or expressions of love, correct?
I have 2 expressions of love and quality time. That is me. I need those things in order to feel like my cup is full.
I'm straight physical.
His love language is physical touch and doing things like gestures, I feel like.
Yep.
So you want to make sure that you know your partner's love language. That way, you know.
This was another thing I had no idea what this meant.
Make sure their cup is always full.
Yeah. Knowing your partner's love language is key. What makes me happy is different than what makes her happy. And if I'm giving her gifts that make me happy, she might not get the love that she needs. So it is important to know what your partner needs. Acts of service, positive affirmation,
quality time, whatever that is, so that your partner feels appreciated.
Yes.
Like I said, you don't want anybody walking around with their cup half full,
right,
or on empty.
All right, number 9. You guys have to get comfortable with having difficult conversations before you get married.
And after.
Oh, and definitely after.
Because there are going to be things that come up that,
yes,
you know, you guys are going to have to just tackle head on, which is the healthiest way, I feel like, instead of letting things harbor and build up.
Like we said, we're not professionals, but if you revert back to the list, number 1, fighting fair. Number 2, expectations versus reality. And number 4, compromise.
When you go to have these difficult conversations, keep those in mind.
Yes.
Because when you're talking to your spouse and the difficult conversations come up, it allows you to, you know, hear your partner out and figure out what they need from you so that they're feeling fulfilled. So you just want to make sure that, you know,
yes, you go
in with an open mind when you're having difficult conversations, and not be so reactive.
That's it. Don't be reactive. You guys, when your partner comes to you and it's something that you might not agree with right off bat, be receptive. Listen to what your partner is saying. Don't like for me.
Look, I'm still working on it.
Yeah, this is one we're working on still. We've been together for this long, and we're still like the minute
you hear the wrong thing, it's like, and you stop hearing everything that they're saying.
Hold on.
And you go for the juggler.
Yeah, like I got my haymaker ready. Everything you're saying is blindsided after what you just said. No, you guys want to be receptive. Yeah. Listen to your partner. Listen to the point they're making, and just listen. Don't think about what you're gonna say next. Like for me, what I try to do is be like, what can I do to help you with this situation? What do you need from me?
Or how can I make it easier for you?
And that's what she said.
Those are things to lead with. Not, what did you say? Oh, hell no. I'm kidding.
Right.
I'm kidding.
No, you're right. Yeah.
So, yeah, you want to lead with positivity.
And if you're leading into something that's going to be dangerous, where you might be worried about going to sleep, lead with something positive, like, you look so beautiful today, or you really cleaned this house, or Liam is so happy. He is just, what did you guys do today?
Stay away from the danger zone, because nobody wants to have to sleep with one eye open.
Yes.
Point blank, period.
Yeah.
Which is usually him sleeping with one eye open.
I do. I sleep with one eye open.
So.
Looking right at her like this.
Stay away from the danger zone.
And I think this one was pretty big for both of us.
Yeah.
And we still get flack from the older generation, our parents. It was hard for me because I grew up thinking this was taboo.
Therapy is not a precursor to a failing marriage. So coming from my family and the way I grew up, they really didn't believe in therapy until something was like wrong or it boiled over and they didn't know how to clean up the mess and they needed help right away. Well, me, I like to be proactive about everything. And so I decided to get us into therapy because I just like to hear different perspectives. You know, sometimes it's hard for us to hear each other out, and getting that third perspective can kind of, you know,
and it really
lighten
is.
up the situation.
Yeah, we might think something serious, and then we'll talk to a therapist about it, our therapist about it, and she's like, you guys just need to step back and look at it like this, or what do you need? What do you need? And then she literally be like, this is what you guys need to do, or try thinking about it like this. And you guys, like, this has negated so many arguments because she gives us the tools that we need to handle situations that we weren't prepared for.
Right.
I mean, it's
I
huge.
love her.
Yeah,
And
she is so.
She's great.
She's great.
We don't, and another thing is we don't do therapy when things have just become to the point where we can't handle it. We do therapy like when we're on good terms. You know, just to talk about things and get things off our chest if we feel like they weren't resolved, really, or you just still have some type of feelings or emotions towards it, just to talk about it and kind of, you know, kind of dissolve it.
And she does. She does a great job. She
does
literally
great.
puts things into a perspective. Like, this ain't that big a deal, you guys. You guys just need to.
Because I'll go in, look, thinking I'm right. Like, oh, I know she's about to agree with me. You about to get told.
And I do the same thing. Like, I'm about to mess you up. And she's like,
you're not right. And I'm just like, ooh.
She's
it
like,
kind of stings for a minute. I can't even lie. But
yeah.
After hearing her perspective and hearing it out, I'm like, dang, well, maybe I should look at it in this way, you know? Maybe I should try it this way. And it really does help. So you don't have to be failing at a marriage or a relationship to get into counseling. I think it's healthy just to go straight in for yourself or your relationship, your marriage.
It helps. It's huge.
It's huge.
It's like she said, we're not waiting till things boil over. It's literally just preemptive strikes. It's like, this might be an issue later on. Let's go talk about it. And we do. And it always works out. We have a healthy conversation about it, somewhat, and it's great.
It's great. I enjoy it. But yeah, don't be afraid of therapy.
You know, like, can I talk about my dad?
Yeah.
Like, he's just, like, if you go and see a therapist, you're crazy or there's something wrong, and that's not the case. You're just being proactive, and like we said, you want to be intentional in your marriage. It's just one more step of making sure your marriage succeeds. And that's it.
I agree with that one. And I even, you know, do therapy on my own sometimes. Sometimes I feel like there's things that I need to work on personally that can help benefit me, our marriage, me being a better mom. So
yeah, well,
there's just,
if there's traumas you endured as a child or early adulthood and you haven't figured out how to work through that,
it's important for you to get that taken care of because it will show up.
Get professional help.
Yeah.
Because
it'll definitely show up in adulthood and marriage and relationships, and you'll be like, where is this coming from? And then you'll have to think back and you're like, oh, this is where this is stemming from.
This is why this is happening.
Take care of this so that I can move forward and be a better person.
Yep.
Well, that is our 10 things that we wish we knew before we got married, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video.
Sorry we've been gone for so long. But
yeah, it's just been crazy and hectic, but we're getting through. But we're back now.
We're
so
back.
if you guys have any tips or things that you guys have
endured
or
come across that you want to discuss, let us know. And we're just about helping people here. So
we'll see you next time, guys. Bye.